Right now, Hurricane Ian is not giving up easily. We'll take a look at some of the damage being done from this historic storm.
Plus, taking time to grieve and heal following the unexpected death of a beloved teacher and coach.
And later, teachers and staff members demanding answers after the sudden firing of a local school's principal. That's all straight ahead right now at 10. Thank you for joining us. Much of the country tonight following the developments in Florida, where a powerful Category 4 hurricane has crashed ashore, causing widespread damage.
But it's also important to note here locally, there is also an alert day overnight for temperatures dropping near freezing the second night in a row. We'll have a closer look at who can expect potential frost coming up in just a few moments. First, here is a live look. It's hard to see here, but it's the Sunshine Skyway Bridge across lower Tampa Bay south of St. Pete. It has been a whirlwind day for the entire state of Florida, with the west coast of the state taking that direct hit from Hurricane Ian. Now, this is just some of the video that is coming in. This shot in Fort Myers Beach, near where that storm made landfall. You can see the storm surge, nearly everything underwater. Ian is now tied for the strongest storm to make landfall on the Gulf Coast of Florida and the peninsula, matching the wind speed of Hurricane Charlie, which was back in 2004. A storm surge, wind, heavy rain, tornadoes, all posing a serious threat right now and likely for days to come. This video from this is current video from Vanderbilt Beach. The cars in a parking garage there are completely submerged.
Ian made landfall just after 3 p.m. Florida time as a Category 4 storm in the city of Cayo Costa. That's near Cape Coral. Now, according to the National Hurricane Center in Miami, at the time of landfall, sustained winds were around 150 miles per hour. Tonight, the storm has downgraded in strength, but it continues to wreak havoc. In some places, it is expected to dump more than a foot of rain, along with a devastating 12-foot storm surge. CBS's Jason Allen is in Tampa.
Much of Florida is hunkered down for what may be one of the most severe weather events in U.S. history. Hurricane Ian is now churning its way across the state after making landfall as a Category 4 storm on Wednesday. Ian came ashore shortly after 3 p.m. just west of the city of Fort Myers. Peak wind speeds were measured at 150 miles an hour, tying it as the 5th strongest hurricane ever to hit the country. As night fell, more than 1 million homes and businesses were without power, a number officials feared would grow much higher. They also said emergency services had been suspended in some areas.
First responders will deploy as soon as it's safe to do so.
More than 2.5 million people were under evacuation orders as Ian approached. It's unclear how many stayed put to ride it out.
If it has come outside, you may be in the eye of the storm.
Forecasters predicted severe flooding as the storm creeps inland.
So it's going to take 24 hours or so once it makes landfall to make it to the other side of the state across the peninsula. So it's 24 hours of rainfall, 24 hours of winds pushing the water.
Ian is expected to lose some of its intensity overnight, but the National Hurricane Center says it will likely inundate northern Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina through the weekend. Jason Allen, CBS News, Tampa.
Rescue workers from FEMA, the Red Cross, and other agencies have been pre-positioned to go into the hardest hit areas once the storm passes.
Outside of the state, help is also on the way, and that includes more than 36 linesmen from places like Arcadia, Wanakee, and Sun Prairie. That team from Sun Prairie will get to Chattanooga, Tennessee tomorrow, waiting for the all clear before heading into a disaster zone. They expect to arrive in Florida early Friday morning, where they'll assist local crews there, analyzing the damage and restoring power along the way. And Red Cross volunteers from Wisconsin are also heading south. They'll likely be spending about 2 weeks in Florida. Volunteers are driving emergency response vehicles down. One left today. The other will leave tomorrow. They are packed with food, water, blankets, cots, and anything else residents down there may need.
And for all things Hurricane Ian, as we start to see more of the damage left behind and the recovery process, be sure to continue to follow News 3 Now on air and online at channel3000.com. And now for a closer look at where the storm is now and our local alert day overnight, here's Julian Seawright.
Thanks, Charlotte. And it's closing into Central Florida as of right now, but the good news is it has downgraded into a Category 1 hurricane. However, it is still wreaking havoc throughout the coast of the western parts of Florida as of right now. And you can see where the bands of heavier rainfall moved a bit more inland, so we're not looking too much more towards the southwestern Gulf, but we are still looking at storm surges to be an issue and the amounts of rainfall that is going to be falling because of how slow this storm is moving. It's moving at 8 miles per hour. It is not making too much traction across Florida as of right now. And as we take a look at the track, as we continue throughout the overnight hours, it's still not going to be moving too much closer towards Daytona Beach, but the outer bands of rainfall will. Once we start to see this storm start to fall apart a bit closer, once it gets to Daytona Beach, it exits into the Atlantic, but it bounces right back into the southern parts of the East Coast. This will include parts of Georgia and for South Carolina, as we're going to be looking at it to start to make its track just past Charleston and Columbia before it moves even into parts of Virginia, North Carolina, and for even the D.C. metropolitan area. But let's take a look at our local weather here. As we take a look outside for us, we are talking about frost advisories that are going to be in effect from 1 a.m. overnight into our 8 in the morning for Thursday. We'll take a deeper look at this coming up in a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
Staff and faculty members from one Madison middle school are outraged tonight after the sudden firing of their principal.
Mckenna Alexander shares some of what they had to say at tonight's board meeting and explains what we know so far about the decision. Mckenna?
Yeah, after just 8 days in the role, Senate Middle School Principal Dr. Jeffrey Copeland is no longer employed by the school or by the district. MMSD officials confirmed yesterday that he was fired just a few weeks into the school year after being hired just shortly before the start of the new semester. He was placed on a leave of absence last week prior to his departure. It's a decision that has Senate staff demanding its reversal.
It's incredible to have a boss that has your back and you know it, down in your gut. I can show up, I can do what's right. I know I'm an awesome teacher. And I know this man has my back. And he was taken.
We need someone that backs us up, that believes in the culture and believes in the Senate the way that we do. That was Dr. Copeland.
A district spokesperson tells us the district can't comment on Dr. Copeland's departure because it's a personnel matter. And we didn't get any other confirmed information from tonight's meeting, meaning right now it's still unclear just what led to the principal's departure. In the meantime, in an email sent to Senate families, district officials say the recently retired Dr. Susan Aplin-Alp and Randy Quebec will serve as co-interim principals for the rest of the school year. Assistant Principal Matt Inda, who's been acting as principal designee during Copeland's leave, will now return to his original role.
Mckenna, thank you. And new at 10, a Madison officer suffered non-life-threatening injuries tonight after being dragged by a vehicle while trying to make an arrest. Police said an officer saw the wanted man walk into a Quick Trip on Northport Drive. During a struggle, the officer was dragged for a short distance into the parking lot by a fleeing vehicle. One person was arrested, but a second, they say, remains on the loose.
And a judge ruled today the man charged in connection with last year's Waukesha Parade tragedy can represent himself at trial. 40-year-old Darrell Brooks faces 77 charges, including 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. His trial is scheduled to begin on Monday. We're also learning more about the death of a man who was found in Lake Monona earlier this month. 49-year-old Brian Knoll of Milwaukee was found near the intersection of John Nolan Drive and North Shore Drive on September 20th. Today, his death was ruled a drowning, but the circumstances surrounding it are still under investigation.
Well, if you expect the race for governor in Wisconsin to be a close one, the numbers seem to back that up. Just in today, the latest fundraising totals. Incumbent Governor Tony Evers has raised $4.6 million in the first month after the primary, while Republican challenger Tim Michels edged him out with $5.4 million. The key thing here, though, Michels gave $5 million of his own money to his campaign. The candidates for Wisconsin's 3rd Congressional District remain at odds over a potential debate. Earlier this month, Democrat Brad Pfaff challenged Republican Derek Van Orden to 3 debates across the district. Now, Van Orden said he would only attend town hall debates in which voters asked the questions. Pfaff agreed and followed up with a letter, but Pfaff says Van Orden has yet to respond to that letter. Here are some televised debates that are happening. The governor's debate will be on October 14th. That one will be hosted here in the News 3 Now studios. And the U.S. Senate candidates, Mandela Barnes, Ron Johnson, they'll face off twice, October 7th and again on October 13th.
The past 2 weeks have been tough on students, teachers, and staff in Monona Grove schools. Tonight, they are taking the time to grieve, but also heal following the sudden death of a beloved teacher and coach. And as Armand Rahman found, the good times they had with Charles Ping will last with students forever.
He was just this guy who was like a teacher, but also just like a friend to everybody.
A friend to everybody is perhaps the best way to describe Charles Ping. A common theme in students' messages, "You made my day," or "You made my year."
I was new to the high school my freshman year, and honestly, I would say that he was really one of the first teachers that like made me truly feel like this was the place that I needed to stay.
Memories like those covered the gallery walk at Ping's memorial at Monona Grove High on Wednesday.
One of our sophomore class officers reached out to the four of us and kind of just said, hey, we kind of want to put together something for like the students to just memorialize this. We're having some student speakers from our Asian club and boys tennis club, which were clubs that he actually advised.
Ping's funeral service was private, and the students felt they needed their own space to grieve and remember the art teacher and tennis coach.
It's been a lot of events. A lot of people are in different stages of mourning processes, but a lot of people are slowly starting to accept it, and I think a lot of us just want to make sure that he is remembered to be the amazing person that he was.
Senior class officer Leela Peterson remembers how the safe space Mr. Ping would create helped start her high school career on a high note.
I remember every single day I'd show up, he'd give me a piece of like gum, and he'd play music, and he was just so like friendly, especially to this freshman who didn't have any friends at that point.
Now, even though Ping is not with them in the halls, Peterson says his kind smile and the love it brought will live on.
He always did his best to try to connect with every single student in his class, and that really sticks out to me a lot.
In Monona, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now. And because Mr. Ping loved ice cream, the chocolate shop also stopped by the memorial, and I'm told 50% of their proceeds tonight went to the late teacher's family.
Still ahead tonight, breaking ground on the new headquarters for a global company, plus a local brewing company, giving us an inside look at a new multi-million-dollar renovation project when we come back.
Welcome to Dwellings.
Shop our fabulous showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
I worked in law enforcement for more than 30 years. I know what it takes to keep our community safe. Mandela Barnes stands with Defund the Police and supports no cash bail that releases dangerous criminals back into our communities. Barnes supports sanctuary cities and spending millions of taxpayer dollars on illegal immigrants. Take it from me, the bad guys belong in jail, and Mandela Barnes belongs nowhere near the Senate.
Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Save 11% on your bathroom renovation at Menards. Start with a new vanity from Magic Woods. With over 100 sophisticated styles to choose from, it's easy to find the right match for your decor. Right now, all vanities from Magic Woods are 11% off. Continue your update with U-Tile from Max. Max U-Tile shower kits add fresh, luxurious looks with fast and easy installation. Save 11% off all shower kits right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Welcome to Dwellings.
Shop our fabulous showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
Is there a doctor in the house? Please welcome Sandra Wilson. We get into all things grade.
You can't, block a blessing.
Come join the fun of the Jennifer Hudson Show.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. A groundbreaking ceremony today in Sun Prairie for Quora Stone's world headquarters.
The company supplies and creates architectural and fine arts projects across the U.S. and abroad. The $19 million project doubles the capacity of the current plant on Atlas Avenue in Madison. The project will include 65,000 square feet, a 2-story stone and steel production facility, a gallery, design spaces, wellness spaces, and much more. An Octopi Brewing in Wanakee celebrating a new expansion and clean energy project. Today they gave a tour and sneak peek inside the company's new $72 million expansion. It adds 2 new sections, including a new 200,000 square foot redistribution center. The expansion also includes an innovative large-scale energy storage project powered by a rooftop solar installation.
And a happy birthday is in order today for a World War II veteran. Marjorie Marshman turned 100 today. The Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs presented her with a special proclamation. She served in the Marine Corps Women's Reserve from 1943 to 1946. She actually followed her 5 brothers into military service during World War II. And here's Julian Seawright, who is keeping an eye on Hurricane Ian.
That's right, because if you've missed it, we have now downgraded to a Category 1 hurricane for Ian as it continues to move itself into central Florida. As we take a look at where it is as of right now, it appears the eye is just over Sebring, Florida, and it's continuing to have outer bands of heavy rainfall, which is impacting Winter Haven, but not so much for Tampa. Granted, though, we are still looking at pretty moderate rainfall for the Tampa Bay area and even strong winds with this hurricane as it continues to push itself north-northeast. Now, since it is a slow-moving hurricane with these outer rain bands, we are looking for concerns once again to be storm surges and on top of it, winds in the floods that could be brought from all the devastating rainfall that we're going to be seeing from it. Now, kind of getting a bigger view of how this storm is continuing to track itself, we are looking for it to make its way towards Daytona Beach on this current forecasted track, at least for the outer bands of it. But by the time it gets towards Daytona Beach, we are looking for it to be downgraded to a tropical storm as it enters into the Atlantic. It moves itself back into the southern parts of the East Coast, which would be including the eastern side of Georgia and even for South Carolina as it moves into the rest of the eastern coast northbound. But outside of that, let's take a look at our alert day, folks. Overnight into Thursday morning, we are going to be looking at areas of frost to be possible once again as temperatures are going to be dropping into the mid-30s. But what areas are of concern? It's pretty much all of southern Wisconsin. As you can see that shade of blue on your screen, we are looking at virtually everyone in our viewing area to have a potential of us to see frost develop overnight. Outside of it's that lighter blue on your screen from Monroe, Juneau, and Adams County, we are watching for a freeze warning in effect as those temperatures will be dropping below the freezing point by the time we get into our overnight hours. 35 degrees for Madison, 36 in Janesville and for Platteville. But the story here is, folks, it is going to be a chilly night, and by the time you get into the morning commutes, you want to have your heavy coats. We're going to be looking at temperatures to still be within the middle and upper 30s as we're heading out the door. Some cloud cover will start to develop, but then clear out very quickly by the time we get into the lunchtime hour. On top of it, the good news is temperatures will start to rise as well. We're going to be into the upper 50s and 60s by the time we get into our Thursday afternoon, and then Thursday evening, well, folks, things won't be nearly as cold as what we're experiencing as we head into our overnights for tonight. Friday, the story will be a bit of similar, but a little different. We're looking at temperatures to rise a bit more as we see around 64 degrees to be our high, and leading into the weekend, even more warmth is on the way, or should I say more mild temperatures, as we're going to be seeing temperatures back into the upper 60s and plenty of sunshine. Taking a look at our 3 things we'll need to know. It's going to be dry, it's going to be mild, and on top of it, we're going to be seeing plenty of smooth sailing weather by the time we get out of our weekend. The only thing we're going to be watching for is Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, where we could potentially look at some showers to roll in. But outside of that, folks, make sure you plan out some fall activities, because this weekend is going to shape up to be picture perfect. It's going to do it for weather. Over to you guys.
Coming up in sports, will it be deja vu for Wisconsin on Saturday? Well, the Badgers say their remedy for a slow start is a win over Illinois. The Badger Blueprint is next.
News
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Did you know Tim Michaels said people shouldn't be openly gay in public?
But I think when you bring it out of your house and onto the public street, that's where I differ.
Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
With Pick and Save Fresh Perks, it's easy to get lower than low prices for the win. You also earn fuel points on every purchase to save big at the pump. Pick and Save Fresh Perks. All you do is win big, big savings. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
The insurance company's tiny check. You deserve more.
I wanted more, and I knew I deserved more.
Tell the insurance company you mean business. If you want everything you may deserve, call a powerful law firm. Why accept less when your case may be worth a whole lot more?
Hupy and Abraham.
They know how to get more from the insurance company. They got me way more than I was told I'd get.
Because a good lawyer shouldn't cost you more. They should get you more.
Call 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Right now.
Finding the Honda you really want just got easier. With a longer limited warranty, so long. Downloadable inspection reports, so you see what we see. Downloadable. And complimentary oil changes within the first year. That's what I'm talking about. You've never been more at peace than with Honda Certified Pre-Owned.
Follow the fall colors to the Oakwood Fruit Farm just east of Richland Center. Fresh apple cider, homemade caramel apples, and our legendary apple cider donuts are delicious treats your whole family will love. Fill up on pumpkins, cheese, and of course, fresh apples. Over 20 varieties to choose from. Our family has kept this tradition going every fall since 1904 and want your family to be a part of it too. Come to the Oakwood Fruit Farm just east of scenic Richland Center. Visit oakwoodfruitfarm.com.
Family-owned Brothers Maine knows choosing appliances for a remodel or new build can be exciting and overwhelming. Our experienced staff has experienced it all as we've guided thousands of area families through appliance selection. Brothers Maine has a larger inventory and low-price deals that consistently beat competitors, including Big Box. You heard me. Big Box can't beat our prices. From sales to install, Brothers Maine does it all. Feel great about your purchases and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
With the Pick and Save app, no matter where you order free pickup, you get the same great deals as you'd get in our stores. So start your cart today. Whenever, wherever. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Did you know Tim Michaels wants to criminalize abortion, even for pregnant rape victims?
But are you willing to support exceptions for rape or incest?
That's correct.
Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
You can't hide from what happened, right? And you got to own it.
There's no sugarcoating what happened in Columbus. The Badgers got buried by the Buckeyes. The blackout felt like a funeral for Wisconsin as they watched Ohio State jump out to a 28-point lead and go on to hand them their second loss of the season. But the blowout is over. Now all they can do is respond.
I want to see our best ball, hands down, every position. And I'm going to push that all week. Like, how can we do something different during the week to just get better? I want to see a complete Wisconsin Badgers football game, and that's what that's the standard I'm setting.
I just want to make sure that everyone's locked into the details early in the week and, just kind of keep that consistent throughout the week.
He's Jim Polzine from the Wisconsin State Journal. I'm Zach Hanley, and this is the Badger Blueprint. Not the type of performance you want to put out on national television, but it's one we've seen before from Wisconsin. In their last 16 games against top 20 teams, Badgers are just 4-12. That doesn't cut it with the standards inside or outside of the program, Jim.
Right, and I think we both sat here last week and said that
Ohio State was going to win that game. That's not a surprise, the result of it. I think the manner of defeat is what's shocking. The fact that 17 minutes into the game, it was basically over. It was 28-0 by that point. Wisconsin just didn't show up against a clearly talented team. And I think when you combine that with the loss to Washington State at home early in the season, it's why I'm hearing from a lot of fans that are disgruntled and wondering about the direction of this program.
With that being said, and as frustrating as it sounds, there is still a lot of football to be played. It's week 5 of a 12-week regular season, and all the goals they set out to get are still attainable. Now there's just not a lot of room for error.
We're 2-2. We got 8 more regular season games. It's not the end of the world. I mean, we can still finish out a 10-2 football team, and I mean that's what I'm hitting the guys on. It's like, I mean, we still control our destiny.
Everybody writing us off already, and it's only the 4th game. There's a lot of football to be played, but you know, in a couple weeks, keep that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Keep that same energy when we're winning games.
Big picture-wise, they're right, but they can't afford 1 or 2 more slip-ups if they want to win the West.
Right, and I go back to what Mertz was saying in that first clip. You have to focus on 1 week at a time. You can't get too far ahead and worry about 5-6 weeks down the road. This has to be a very good week. If you come out with a clean performance against Illinois, win that game, then you can build on it.
4 weeks into last season, Wisconsin was 3-1, and the sky was falling. Then they took a trip to Champaign, and everything seemed to get fixed. The Badgers shut out the Illini, which started a 7-game win streak that gave them a shot at winning the West. Similar story this year with another Week 5 matchup against Illinois, and this group plans to use last year's experience to right their wrongs.
I think it can put confidence in guys knowing that, you know, regardless of your record, you hold the keys to your success is kind of how I view it. So, you know, just guys understand that it's still a lot of games left in the season.
That's definitely an experience that we can draw from. You know, play our style of football, play clean football, and get a win so we can go into the rest of the Big Ten, you know, with some momentum.
That game and the emergence of Braylon Allen really propelled Wisconsin last year. Can they do it again?
Sure, why not? I mean, if you look at the schedule, you get past Ohio State, there's not going to be another team on the schedule the rest of the regular season that is anywhere close to Ohio State's talent. So, yes, all the rest of the games are winnable. I'd also say that there's a lot of losable games on there, and it starts with Illinois on Saturday.
This Illinois team may be better than people expect with a new quarterback, new offensive coordinator, and their running back's pretty good, too.
Right. I mean, it's a 3-1 team that really could be 4-0 at this point. Offense has improved. The defense has improved. I think Brett Bielema's got that program heading in the right direction. It's not going to be an easy one.
And still to come, for the first time since leaving for Arkansas, Brett Bielema is returning to Camp Randall. That's next, after the break.
Gruber Law Offices has been fighting and winning for people injured by big trucks for more than 30 years. We can help you from the safety and comfort of your own home. Our virtual sign-up process is quick and easy. One call, that's all.
Ron Johnson and China. Here's how it works. While in the Senate, Johnson made $57 million from a family business whose growth was directly linked to China. He invested in Chinese factories, and Johnson's family business got $50 million in loans from the Bank of China. Johnson pushed for shipping American jobs overseas, while he got rich. Ron Johnson's out for himself, not us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
The 2023 Ford F-150 trucks are coming, meaning more ways to haul, tow, go, and do, and with more ways than ever to make it your own. Plus, if you order now, you'll lock in your price and lock in your rate. Do more in a 2023 Ford F-150. Custom order yours today. Lock in 2.9 for 60 and get 500 retail order bonus cash when you order a Ford F-150. Only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
Champion summer savings are here. Don't miss our best window sale. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free.
At Champion, we make buying new windows easy.
Unlike some other companies, at Champion, we control every aspect of the process. We design it, we build it, we install it, and we guarantee it for life.
Keep the heat out this summer with new energy-efficient windows from Champion. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Call or go online to book your free estimate at getchampionwindows.com.
Energy is everywhere, even in a little seedling, which, when turned into fuel, can help power a plane. At Chevron's El Segundo refinery, we're looking to turn plant-based oil into renewable gasoline, jet, and diesel fuels. Our planet offers countless sources of energy, but it's only human to find the ones that could power a better future.
The radical left hate America and riot in our streets. They indoctrinate our children to hate America, stoking fear and envy with their lies and deceptions. Their radical woke agenda and divisive politics are tearing our country apart. Here's Mandela Barnes.
Because the founding of this nation, awful.
Mandela Barnes is a radical leftist. He supports their woke agenda that's causing you and your family so much pain.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
If you've been injured in a truck crash, call Gruber Law Offices. Trucking law can be extremely complicated. There are specific rules and regulations that apply, and we know what it takes to win. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Help us collect kids' winter coats during Coats for Kids.
In his 7 seasons as Wisconsin's head coach, Brett Bielema racked up 68 wins while leading the Badgers to 3 straight Big Ten championships and 3 straight Rose Bowls before he left for Arkansas. He's now in his 2nd season at Illinois and will be returning to Camp Randall for the first time since he left.
Proud of what those teams were able to accomplish, and as far as working. I enjoyed working with him.
Jim, what do you think it's going to be like for Brett Bielema returning to a place that he had so much success at?
Yeah, I think it's going to be strange. His post-game news conference on Saturday will be in a place that he always held his typical Monday news conference. I think the one thing is enough time has passed. It's not like he left Wisconsin and is coming back the next season as a head coach for a different institution. There's been some time that's passed in there. A lot of the players don't even remember him or know that he was the coach here.
As far as this series goes, the Badgers have won 15 of their last 17 meetings against the Illini. How do you see this one playing out Saturday?
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how Wisconsin bounces back. It's tough to get your butt kicked on a Saturday night and bounce back the next week. I look for a more focused response. I think they'll win 24-14.
Like last year, this is a get-right game for Wisconsin. They're favored by around 7. I think they'll win by 17. And that's it for this week's Badger Blueprint. Thanks for watching.
Okay, final check of the forecast.
Well, the good news is that we are going to start to see a warm-up later into the week, but be prepared for some chilly conditions for our Thursday morning. But then this weekend is going to be picture perfect before we potentially see some showers next week, Charlotte.
We need this good weekend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right. Thank you. Do something good, everyone, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.